It is still Middas, the 29th of Rain's hand in the year 1669 of the Fifth Era. The Forsaken Winds continue their conflict with Zavar, the king of Durast and perpetrator of the recent year's war. After recently seemingly getting the best of Zavar, even with his arms of Celestial and Dread Iron and armor of Helisteel, you finally knocked him down low enough where he pursued a desperate means of survival, drawing from within his vestments a catalyst serum, similar to the one used by Roulette, which is strange. You guys didn't necessarily know Zavar to be of a constitution that could facilitate a transformation like that, and yet he did transform himself into a gargantuan were-drake creature with Divinor scales and a large ruby gem at the center. You've already quickly struck a series of grave wounds against this creature and cracked its ruby crystal, but it continues to rage on. So as we move back, I have it as 127. And as we move back into initiative order, I do believe it is the beginning of the round, and our tactician, if you would like, can make an adjustment.
Okay, hang on. Also, is my mic working?
It is.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sweet. So who? Toby, me. Okay, I think I'm gonna Toby and Roulette. I think I'm gonna leave. Actually, wait. I think I want Roulette to go before me.
Okay.
Go ahead for it, Roulette.
All right. You throw a command to Roulette, and Roulette in your bestial form, you're able to process and leap into action sooner, but still after Toby kicks us off on this round. Toby? Also, Toby Rama, as you are reeling from being blasted with this creature's prismatic beam of pure quintessential chaos, of entropy, the wisp of wild flame given to you by Jiri kept you up, and you're a bit dazed and your senses are coming back to you. However, with your incredibly high passive perception, I will clarify that in the aftermath of Zavar's transformation, the emblem of the Sundering known as Cryospear has clattered to the ground out of Zavar's grasp and is lying on the ground here. Okay, so it's a bonus action to connect it and avail that of... Okay, perfect. Okay. Also, MJ, not that it's of major consequence, but you can join the jam if you'd like for Spotify.
Oh,
I think everyone else is in there.
thank you for reminding me.
Hey, you can't jam with us.
At the end of your turn, It is our bronze chimera's turn.
Critter, I've already struck. Just to make sure I'm understanding this correctly, I've struck at this guy. I did a round of attacks on him.
Yeah, he's looking very low. You have
No,
your
not the health wise. Not the health wise. It's
Okay.
more just like the efficacy of my attacks. If I remember correctly, my stuff are not magical, inherently
Correct.
magical. So like bludgeoning, piercing,
Yeah.
slashing
correct.
is nullified,
Completely inert against this thing's lycanthropic scales.
and then my acid damage didn't meet the minimum.
Correct. It
Since the
has
blow
been
was
reduced
ruby.
with its cracked, sundered Divinor scales, as it used a legendary resistance to avoid being knocked prone.
I might need to restart my computer, but I'm going to see if this... Nope, that did not go anywhere. Hold on. I got to restart Roll20 because it is frozen.
Telperion on deck. Start thinking through your potential moves.
Can you put a little dot? Oh, you did put Cryosphere. Okay.
Yep.
Are you okay if I grab it and use it, or?
Okay. For whatever reason, it's not letting me do... Actually, wait, hold on. I think I got it. 1d6. There we go. Love to see that.
Yeah, you get it back.
So
good recharge rolls.
Knowing this is more for intimidation and bluster than it is for efficacy, because I know Zavar couldn't be frightened. But I will bonus action Lion's Roar. The lion, the ram, the bronze drake all start roaring at the same time. The lion's a little bit louder. I need a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw, or he's frightened.
You do see both were-drakes in your vicinity immune to the effect of this frightened condition, and all humanoid creatures have already sort of begun backing away and retreating from the environment, fearful of this dark creature that has emerged from the landscape.
And I will multi-attack. First thing I will do is a lightning breath, aiming straight up the sternum for that spot where the ruby was. Wait, it was a ruby?
It seems ruby-esque in nature, yes. Brilliantly refractive gemstone of a deep crimson red coloration.
A deep part of Roulette's inside Chimera brain flicks on. I need a DC 16 dex save.
Okay.
I don't know why I can't fucking click in here now. This is so dumb. There we go.
19's pretty good. You see it quickly beat its wings, and it just surges to the side out of the way of direct line of impact through its crystal heart. But you do still strike it for half damage.
However much that is. Well,
reduced to 18, resisted to 9, which does not meet the threshold. And so, although it leaves a scar of plasmic just burn across its scales, you see it flicker away into ash, harmless against the creature.
I start charging at it, leading with the ram's head. And I am going to attack with the horns.
Okay. Using more movement than you'd think would be required moving toward it as this entropic tempest of chaos is pushing you back. But you are welcome to try and make your roll.
It is my +9 because I have a +1 with the Banewood brooch. 16.
16 will direct impact, and you feel one of your horns crack slightly. No impact to it, not meeting its AC in order to damage it.
Right. And we'll do a claw one just for fun.
That 20 will hit. Let's see what the damage roll could possibly be.
Should I just roll the acid damage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that applies.
Ooh, wait, it's actually +1 to this. I will say that. So it is 12 acid damage.
Okay. That is reduced and therefore, unfortunately, harmless against the scales of this creature. You are learning that it is resistant to most damage types.
I
However,
imagined it would be.
not resisted force damage from Jiri's smite against it, nor has it resisted, I think it took a blast of radiant damage from someone that it did not resist. That's right. That's right. Yep.
That's all my actions and bonus actions. I will lap back the 15 feet to here.
You're easily able to do so. It almost assists your.
Am I feeling that if I were to stay there, I'd be shunted and damaged?
Indeed.
And I already used all my actions, so I
Even
will.
being in that tempest is almost like peeling away your very atoms. It is raw entropy and chaos.
That's the end of my turn.
Okay. Telperion, you're up.
Okay. Is that 40?
Let's take it
No.
5 feet at a time. If you move
Yeah.
5 feet forward, then 15, then 25, then 35. So moving to that space would be 35 total.
I can't
from where you
attack him from
started.
here.
No, you do not have reach.
Bruh. Homeboy's speed is 30. Wait, did I already do the click? Yeah. Alright, so that's where I was, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to I have to use a bonus action to fly. But actually, there's something else I would like to do instead. Okay. So I want to do something, Crit. You said that Roulette's horn just cracked, right?
Partially, just mostly flavor, but just the impact was not sufficient to beat through its AC, even if it connected.
Mm-hmm.
You saw
Okay.
3 very loud and ineffectual attacks.
Yeah, I did. What I'd like to do is first, with Mind Sliver with Kair being I could do 3 attacks, and one of my attacks could be moving telekinetically with Kair. I believe.
Kair's typically a bonus action, right?
No, well, that's a push. I have Mage Hand as a cantrip. That is what Kair is
casting.
Yeah.
Casting the spell Kair. Yes.
Okay, sweet. What I'd like to do is I really want to ram the spear into your horn so you can be attacking with the spear, Roulette. So what I want to do is go get the spear. So I need the line. Can I get there, Crit?
I'm doing a little bit of looking something up very quickly.
Roulette, I really don't have a way to adhere this to your horn, but I really would love to.
Roulette loves the idea. Steve loves the idea. The Chimera, which I have not yet named, has -3 on intelligence. So,
Okay. Let's make this simple. I'm just gonna use a bonus action so I can fly, so that I can better control where I'm gonna be from here on out. So I'm gonna get
Okay.
myself a movement speed of 60. So I'm gonna move over the most direct way to the spear, and from there I want to attack the beast, and then I'm gonna retreat north.
Okay.
So whatever that
So I'm gonna
trajectory
need
looks like.
5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, you're moving.
Sorry, I was just going 5 at a time. This is where I
yeah.
was.
I just want to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Probably here's your 35, which you're next to and can pick up Cryosphere and potentially make an attack
Okay.
as soon as you get to this spot.
I'm just gonna use my regular swing on this first one.
Okay, with Kiramar?
Yeah, I'm just gonna use Kiramar. So Kiramar, and I'm going to do my first cantrip as Booming Blade.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your hit.
And this is
Oh,
Toby's
yes.
watching.
Toby releases his magic, and you see a silvery shimmer take the creature. Nat 20?
I haven't touched it. Do you want to pick? It was a
No,
nat 20.
I trust you. I trust you.
Let it be the photo for me.
Yeah,
I heard
that's
Archie.
fair.
I heard Archie bark as validation. I will say that.
Okay. So the first one's a nat 20. So this is going to be 4d8 to start of the Booming Blade energy.
Okay.
That's 16 on that.
Okay, reduced to 8.
And then I'm going to roll 2d6 because of my hunter's mark, and 2d4 because of enlarge, and 2d12. And then I'm going to add in 2d10 because I'm going to Psy Strike, depleting my last psionic die.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Because it gains vulnerability, all the damage, that cancels out its resistance to thunder damage. So it will take the full 16 thunder damage.
Hell yeah. Okay, so the modifier on this is going to be 7 and 4 together. So plus 11 to this total. So 6 plus 4 plus 16 plus 9 plus 3 plus 3. So 41 plus 7 plus 4. So that's 52. And then with that thunder,
Which is 104 plus 16 for a total of 120 damage on this strike.
So yeah, coming in with Kiramar hot. I'm standing over this thing, and I'm using both hands right before I even grab the spear and
Twitter math point.
drive
really
up.
quick.
And I'm aiming at that heart right now, knowing that's
Sure.
the spot.
I think there should be an extra 16 damage because you added 16, but 16 should be. Oh no, that
The 8, it has resistance and vulnerability, which halves and double. So it's just a true 16 thunder, but all the other damage was pure force, enhanced by enlarged, enhanced by hunter's mark, which all just carries the initial weapon damage die. So your Kiramar being a force-dealing weapon is huge in this moment, something that the creature is not resistant to. 120 damage. Telperion, with a crit on this strike, as you sprint toward with a psionic pulse and slash at this ruby heart, once more a second crack fractures throughout the gem heart, and your mind goes blank. Wind, mountaintops, and far below you, a creature larger than comprehension falling to the earth. Your senses come back to you, and you're still here in front of that weredrake.
I think that
something,
was
something just leaked through into your mind.
That was sweet. And I think of Cecilia in that moment, and I'm channeling her as I swing again.
Okay. Well, I can make a second strike.
So that's 13 plus 12, 25.
Does hit.
All right, so now I'm back down to a D12, a D6, and a D4.
Are you rolling it? Are you at advantage, Michael?
Yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay, just making sure you're rolling.
What is the source of advantage for my clarification?
Greater invisibility.
Ah, that's right. Thank you. Yes.
So 14, 18 on this next one.
18 total force damage sustained by the creature. The creature is not looking good after Jiri's smite and then your critical, both enhanced by Toby's magic. You guys have sundered this creature already, and you see just evaporation of arcane chaos leaking from the crystal and sort of just permeating the entire space around you guys.
MK, question?
Identical. Very similar. Prismatic, multicolored, iridescent chaos.
Jiri, is your movement 40, and are you about to have trouble getting to him next turn?
No, if I notice your force damage doing well, I might just blast them from afar.
Oh, okay. So with that, and Roulette's doing okay, and Toby's doing okay. All right, I'm gonna use my last attack regularly with my sword.
Okay.
Another 25 to hit.
Does hit.
And that will be 19 force damage.
19 force.
All right, and then with Cryospear in hand, I'm going to retreat out of there. So I'm sorry, I'm not gonna math it. Do you remember I used about 35 movement to get here, or was it a little more?
It was 35. So yeah, with
Okay.
gripping Cryospear and then retreating up left or even kind of straight up, there's no movement penalty.
Oh yeah. So okay. So what I'd like to do is get a healthy. Well, I know that to get here next turn, I need to. This is where I essentially need to start my turn next turn to get to him.
Yeah,
Right.
functionally with a 15-foot emanation costing double speed, it costs a person's typical entire 30-foot movement to close the distance to it. So yes.
So is that safe?
Yes.
Okay.
And you have picked up Cryospear in your left hand.
And I'm chucking it with my bonus action, using my quick toss.
Okay.
Right at the heart.
Go ahead and roll your attack.
Okay. I rolled a 7. Yes. But that's plus. I don't know what that's plus. Is this a flat weapon?
It is a flat weapon for now. You are not attuned, and though it carries the inherent properties of Celestial, you don't gain benefits to the attack rolls. So, what is your strength plus proficiency?
5 plus 5 is 10, so 17.
Okay, so 17. As you hurl Cryospear, it feels light and strange in your arms, and so you kind of overheave it, expecting a more weight to it, but it just flies a little off target and then is pushed off course in the chaos. And I'm going to move you for a second. I'm going to say its trajectory is pushed this way before it clatters to the ground.
All right. That is my turn. Sorry it took a while.
Jiri, you are up.
Like I said, I'm gonna get blasting at this thing. The first attack, I'm going to use my heroic intervention to gain advantage.
D20 advantage, perfect.
Use that.
Tim, did you just drop an MTG card name by accident?
Do what?
Heroic Intervention is a 1 green tap, negate all combat damage this round of combat and magic.
Is that not what it's called?
Heroic Inspiration.
Heroic
Inspiration. Yeah.
Heroic Intervention. Oh yeah, I do know that card. Yes, that's a good card too.
Okay, so this first roll will have advantage. You're casting Airburst.
Yes, Airburst with advantage. Focused. Yes. Did not roll with advantage. Let me roll.
Yeah, go ahead and roll again.
Nope. 27.
27 definitely hits for 18 force damage, and then go ahead and roll your other 2 blasts at standard roll. 18's a meaningful blow.
2.
With a
Oof.
14 and a 16 missing, I will finally get to use this creature's reaction.
Arm.
The raw chaos of your spell casting on a miss is redirected. It will use its reaction, and as it hits the creature's scales, they kind of stay there and vibrate these bursts. And as it roars, the blasts hurl back in your direction, just these 2 that missed. And they will re-roll. I need you to please make 2 straight rolls using your spellcasting modifier against yourself.
Wow. All right. Plus 11. All right, now I'm gonna roll amazing. Just watch. 16. There we go.
Okay, so
Those bad
although they're
rolls.
refracted, they just rush past you, or you dodge them, whatever your choice.
I continue to roll poorly. With my bonus action, I will send some more beams at this thing using my crown
Okay, go
of
ahead and roll
stars.
your radiant damage.
That is just a flat spell attack roll. Roll.
Wow.
Ooh. Yeah. True.
As long as, I don't know the repercussions of this, as long as it's not just with your Hexblade's weapon, as long as it's all attack rolls.
Oh, you're right. I think it is with the Hexblade weapon.
That could be the case. I'm not familiar. You know your feature better than me, so you double check that before we potentially roll 8d12, but you could. And actually, Crown of Stars? Oh, no, I'm thinking of a different feature.
I'll check, but I'm pretty certain. Any attack roll you make against the cursed target is a critical hit on a roll of 19 or 20.
What?
Any attack.
If it is not restricted to your blade weapon, then your spell is benefiting it. You are welcome to roll 8d12.
We're here to crit. The crits are where you need them.
Only one managed to do 0 damage on that crit though.
That's true.
Ooh, 56.
56 radiant damage, unresisted by this creature's form. The jewel shatters, and the creature drops to the ground, no longer holding itself up via flight. And it is struggling to breathe. But as it's breathing, you see slowly that coloration of the area around it start to dim as it's desperately trying to siphon up the strength for one final beam attack. This creature is not long for this world.
Yikes. Jiri will stay put. He's in a good spot right here, he thinks.
Yikes.
Actually, I'll move like there to be there.
Okay.
Shaggy?
If that'll do it for Jiri, it's Shaggy's turn. Yep.
Yeah, Shaggy's gonna follow suit and get the blasting as well.
Dude, does Shaggy get the kill?
Nope.
Not with the 14.
Can you imagine?
You see the crown of the star just fling off and bounce off one of this creature's scales as it fell. It could have even been on target toward the central jewel chest, but as the creature fell, it just went off target. Any action economy
will
or movement?
hide. Bonus action to dodge, and he will hide behind this tree.
Or action to dodge?
Yes, other way around. Yep.
Yep.
That's it.
The Infernal Sphere's turn. I have a mark on the infernal sphere. I don't recall what that mark is denoting. It wasn't baned.
I think it's frightened of me.
I think that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was not immune to frightened. It is frightened of the chimera.
everything. Yeah.
So I think you guys are both on the cusp of its radial movement available, not getting closer to roulette. I'm going to roll a d20. It knows well where Telperion is with its extremely high perception and the movement Telperion's causing, but it also was attacking Toby recently. I'm going to roll a d20. High is, I'm going to say, good for you guys. 11 or higher is it's going to target Telperion. Low is it's going to target Tobirama, which I'm considering bad for you guys because you're lower health. So, d20 roll. Well, that might not be subjected to it. It did roll low, which is bad for you guys. So, Tobirama, this creature, as you've seen before, and I need to get to the page that info is on very quickly. Oh, that's actually difficult to do. It tucks into a sphere and rolls in your direction. So I actually need you to make a dexterity saving throw, Toby.
Turn into an item.
That has been successful for Daisy. That is unfortunately a fail. And I need...
Oh, because you had your held action.
I am trying to find something that I can't find, but I happen to know it. With a fail, you will take 11 points of bludgeoning damage and be knocked prone as the creature hits you. You still up? Okay. That is its turn. And we come back to the Weredrake.
Oh, that's scary.
You're not sure what sort of feral, instinctual drive motivates this creature from within, whether it's a sentient consciousness from Zavar or pure animalistic instinct of a feral animal. But Tobirama, its eyes remain locked on you, even being surrounded by the oppressive damage of Jiri and Telperion.
And Roulette's scary breath.
Indeed, which it needs to fail its dex save on for it to be scared by that. It rolled well last time. But Toby, last time it targeted you and Jiri, it will change targets to you and Telperion this time around, just to shake things up. But once again, as it inhales leaking chaos from its form, this hyper beam of prismatic energy and prismatic coloration impacts the turret tower and then is dragged as a beam in from you toward Telperion, invisibly in the distance. I need both of you to please make a dex save.
Does he have really high passive perception?
He was struck by you and can hear, so high enough to know you are a creature that exists.
I'm going to use my heroic inspiration from my wisp on this roll.
Okay. You're welcome to give yourself advantage on the roll.
Because I got a +1 on this. I'll never make a dex save, even with advantage. 12.
Both of you will fail, and I need each of you to roll a d8. As you learned last time from being rezzed from the wisp, being double blasted is not two separate instances of damage, it's just one. But I guess it could roll high enough where that is still a concern. 6 for Toby and 7 for Telperion. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is not. Blue is a 5. Indigo is a 6. So, Toby, I need you to please make. Oh, at the end of each of your turns, you are restrained and you feel your skin hardening. And you long ago studied creatures turned to stone and were worried about their level of sentient connection to this world. And you know that affliction is potentially going to take you. Telperion with a 7. Telperion, you are immediately blinded, and you can make a whiz save at the start of your next turn, which could end the blindness. Otherwise, you feel your very essence being scraped from this plane somewhere else.
What does that mean?
You are going to be shunted.
Oh, it's a plane spell? Oh my god.
We'll get there when we get there. No damage dealt this time, just potentially conditions.
Just emotional damage.
And then
Emotional
what it
damage.
could have done first, but of no consequence, it will roar as a bonus action. It's Mind Sunder ability, and I need anyone within 60 feet, which includes Shaggy this time around. Shaggy, Telperion, Toby, Jiri, and Chimera, and the Weredrake, to make an intelligence saving throw.
Oh my god.
Oh boy. Intelligence save.
I'm 19. I don't need that now. Crap. Really, it's a 23.
Ugh.
Anyone under an 18
Oh.
will take 6 points of psychic damage and need to subtract 1d4 from the next saving throw you make before the start of the Weredrake's
Oh, that must have just procced on my last save because I took this the first time, and that proc would have procced then.
6 psychic.
As in, like, the deck save got a minus D4.
from the previous one. Yep, gotcha. So 6 damage to a few of you, most of you, I think, and a minor Bane effect. Otherwise, that will do it for the Weredrake's turn. It's still not flying or moving in any directions. It's just collecting itself, standing on the ground, gasping for air. Jiri, it is your Spectre Shadow Moby's turn.
Oh boy. Where he at? Over here?
The Weredrake took the damage as well.
He cannot get in and get out, but he's done his deeds. Is this thing immune to necrotic? Do we know that already?
You do know that it is immune to necrotic.
Alright, let's go after this thing then.
Okay. Go ahead and zoom over there and roll your attack.
With
At
advantage?
advantage, baby.
Yes,
Dude,
you are
MK, we got
flanking.
hit by the opposite.
And this
Sorry.
Weredrake is looking very rough. I mean, damage roll.
Spectre. 26.
The feral Weredrake is certainly not immune to necrotic. The Divinor Weredrake was, but you absolutely deal 9 damage to it and very nearly kill it.
Darn. Alright, Constitution save throw.
Oh, I got rid of that. Yeah, I got rid of that stat block. So let me do this. Not proficient. That is a fail, so its max HP are reduced.
Not that that is probably gonna matter, but
That it for Shadow Moby?
that's it for him.
It is the spell writer's turn off in the distance. And you see him cast a spell off in the distance and he disappears.
Out of here.
It is then the Feral Weredrake's turn, who unfortunately can't angle a cone to hit both of you. So he's going to continue. He is being injured by the shadow, but he's just going to continue spewing flames on the other feral creature in front of him. Roulette, I need you to please make a dex save with your chimera form.
Ocho.
That will be a fail, and you will be subjected to -4 from this because it rolled with an extra +4. 23 fire damage to you.
23.
23.
Also, my roll was 1d4 lower than 8, so
Perfect. That is its turn. It is top of initiative again if the tactician would like to make a maneuver.
I think he's gonna leave things where they are. Yeah.
Okay. Toby, it's your turn. You are currently restrained. You feel the surface of your skin hardening and your body locking up. Spells. All spells.
I thought you used the scroll, but that's because I gave you the scroll and I didn't think about you casting it the normal way. So I truly don't know.
For some reason, I don't know if this is based in reality or some connection my brain made. I think you did use the scroll. I think you used the scroll. I thought you read it.
I also think you would have saved the spell slot if you weren't going to upcast it.
Okay, fair enough.
You take care of you, boo. I got HP.
Okay. You are welcome to roll your attack with disadvantage. Unfortunately, the arrow itself is scattered in the tempest and sent off in a direction flying. You can identify where it goes, but it is on the map somewhere now.
heal myself.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your healing. And I need you to make a con save.
Don't jinx it.
That is a fail. You feel your body further lock up. Will that do it for Toby's turn? Roulette Chimera's turn.
She dumb, but she not stupid. Realizing that my claws and my horns, my wounded horns, are not doing much. I would like to present to you my goal. My weapons aren't doing much. I'm seeing these two little blue and elf boys doing a lot more damage than I'm doing. I would like to fly 60 feet straight at the head of this gargantuan weredrake, attempt to just grapple the head in some way, shape, or form with one of two goals, and I don't know which would be possible. Either hold the mouth shut, because I see that's where the damage is coming from, or provide the help action, or provide a flanking distraction for other people attacking.
I think you're going to need to make a choice.
Okay.
Of which to pursue. You know the help action functionally is going to be more likely to avail your comrades of aid. The grapple attempt is not impossible, but against a creature this big, that's a disadvantageous attempt.
I will attempt to pull a loaf, essentially. If loaf were orders of magnitude larger, and I'm going to try and just grab onto like one of the horns or something, not to grapple it, but purely to be able to stay within this shunting wave, knowing I'm going to take some damage, but I want to be a pest around this guy's head, allowing my comrades to hit more easily.
Okay. You soar in there, the Tempest thwarting your attempt to get in there quickly. You're having to expend a great amount of effort closing the gap and then ascending toward the head of this creature. You're able to get there. So then you arrive at the head. You can either blatantly give the help action, knowing you're going to take some radiant damage and be pushed out. Or you can attempt to hang on to it and be a nuisance flanking creature, but that's going to be a check required. Which are you pursuing in this moment?
We're going check, baby.
Okay, please make an athletics check, and it will combat your athletics check.
I am going to preemptively add my D12 of Bardic. Well, no, I'm going to roll first, and then I will see if I could need to add my D12 of Bardic. Do I know success or fail first? I forget.
With a Bardic inspiration, you're allowed to know you fail.
My only skill is perception, so this is, what am I doing? Athletics?
Athletics, using the Chimera's strength to basically set the DC for the grapple attempt, or it's really a hang-on check to stay in there.
I rolled an 18 for those who are not the GM, against his 21. I will roll my D12.
Okay. Bending the Bardic.
Of Bardic.
Ooh.
And I rolled a 4.
You roll exactly what you need to in order to
what he needs.
sort of latch on toward its upper physiology. You do, by not leaving its space, immediately take 3 radiant damage as this arcane radiation starts to burn you, but you stay there and offer yourself as a flanking creature for subsequent attacks against this creature.
This is not me getting greedy. This is me just clarifying. I have 3 attacks in my multi-attack. Would this have taken up all 3 of those attacks?
Yes, this was not a single grapple attempt. This was a hang on for dear life athletics endeavor.
Upon grappling, I will bonus action Lion's Roar down it to try and scare it, which doesn't work.
It does not, but it roars back in your mind.
It's just loud. It's very loud. And that is my turn.
I applaud the attempt at unknowable outcomes. Telperion, you are up.
Speaking of unknowable outcomes, is it at the start of my turn I have to make this whiz save?
You do need to make a wisdom saving throw.
I know I used it to make an attack because I remember Jiri saying that his point was to attack. I got nothing. This is a +0. I have a 25% chance of getting over 15.
Is it 15 or is it higher?
I'm just saying I have a 25% chance to get over 15. I talked. 5. I don't have any inspiration, so
What do you need
It's-
to? You need to roll an 18.
I don't know.
Wait, is this he stays blind or he leaves the plane?
This is like it tele-
This is
Once I
long
roll some
rest
outside.
blinded.
Sorry, 3 of us were talking and I don't.
I didn't hear what there was.
Yeah, Tim's clearly figuring out connections, but his connection issues are a good representation of what's about to happen to Telperion. A 5 is the reigning roll, and it is a fail. Is there anything people are going to do to change that outcome?
I missed
I
what
have
just
a-
happened.
Telperion at the start of his turn is making a wisdom save, and you see his very essence become translucent, and you can see through him. He becomes almost visible for a split second as his very essence is being shunted from this plane.
Oh god. So probably, and you need to roll 18 for this. You said.
That's what I need to roll. I didn't know that. I don't. If anyone wants to do an inspiration, we could do
I
one.
have an
but-
inspiration.
I have an inspiration. I have 2 left still. I think it might be
Okay.
worth.
Wait, pause. Sorry, I have a quick question, Critter, because I feel like this is deep in the weeds, and this is gonna be rules as interpreted.
Interesting. Are you trying to flash a
Advantage-
genius from Chimera form, or
No. Advantage on saving throws against effects that cause any of the following conditions.
mm-hmm.
Blinded is the first one in there.
So the first time I should have had that.
I am specific. I
Much
know.
saving?
I'm specifically asking about Aura of Purity, which I still have up, which
I
I'll make
know.
I'll make a con save for really quick. I think 2 of those
I'm
because
starting my turn in it. Is what your point?
What are those con saves for?
how many
Oh,
times did I
hey.
take?
How many times did you what?
Take damage? I did. Never
Oh.
mind. Moot point. Aura of Purity is gone.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh,
Big
take it back to
sorry.
you.
Okay, so potentially inspirations being the only theoretical available safety for Telperion in this moment.
Gotta use at least 1. I'll give 1.
I will gladly offer up 1. Tim, you keep hoarding yours. It's fun. For the moment,
How
I will
about
use-
this? I'll make things tempting.
if we use 3.
We've never used 3 at a time before. Using 3 at a time would auto succeed this. That is a large commitment from those who have inspiration points to give. But I will say we've never used 3 at a time before, and that is a potent use. Should it be of interest to you guys?
So 18, 19, 20, 15% chance.
I'm the only
Hmm.
thing I'll say is I'm the main damage dealer with the force swinging, so I'm scared for like how hard you guys can hit him if your things are gonna miss. But you guys choose what you want to do. I don't want to ever tell anyone how to spend their inspo.
Wait, no, here you go.
Captain, what's the plan?
Captain, what's the plan? Love that song. Wait, so you got who's doing what? Is the I just want to start. the
Roulette
conversation.
is at least willing to offer a point. Tim
I
is at
am-
least willing to offer a point. Toby, do you have any inspiration to give? No, Telperion does not either.
Question is, do we let him roll it twice or 3 times? Do we try to roll it or just take it initially?
It's a +0.
It's a +0. It's don't practice roll.
I practice roll all the time.
Choosing to roll once or twice to maybe get it, and then a third roll to maybe get it, is probably probability wise still
not worth it.
good.
And then, would you be able to roll this again next turn, though?
No, this is.
Are
I
you
think
done?
End the effect.
if he fails
All
it,
right. If this dude dies, will he come back?
We don't know. It's his breath that the
Alright, then
attack.
we
I've
gotta
read
do
the
it.
text and it doesn't say how long I'm gone for, which scares me because it's not a
Yeah.
concentration effect.
Although it would be fun to go on a mission to like go find you.
It would be really thematic.
Yeah.
my God, yes.
I think we have to. I don't know what you guys think, but
I am gladly offering up my one.
Jiri will offer his last 2 inspirations.
Period feels so taken care of.
With 3 points of inspiration spent, and therefore none left amongst the party, Telperion,
It's insane.
you auto succeed this wisdom save, and I would like the group to describe narratively, visually, how a series of commands and dig deep moments are happening on the battlefield to help Telperion stay on this plane.
Oh. I think
Um, Advice from Jiri rings in your mind. He gave you a speech ahead of time, and one of the advices he gave you was, "Don't get teleported into another dimension. Whatever you do, it's the last thing that we can afford."
It's all he told me. The only thing he said, and it is coming in handy right now.
I think amidst all the roaring and animalistic screaming, one of the heads at some point does like a more melodic tune in your general direction, knowing that you definitely got fucked by that thing. And it's much more of a. I feel like there's definitely an instrument that you have played or something, or we heard it when we were in.
I'm a liar.
At some point while we were in your homeland, and it'll do more of a. You'll hear like a melodic roar head in your direction, meant to be a like almost like a bardic inspiration. Of yeah, like a cheer of sorts instead of just a primal roar.
Additionally, Telperion, you feel your essence. The surrounding landscape begins to fade, and you see stars in all directions. And through the weave across unknowable distance and maybe even time and dimension, you also hear a voice you haven't heard in a very long time. Someday, perhaps, not today. And you hear a ghost of Doran's voice. And you steel yourself, and with all the psionic capability, you maintain presence in this world for a bit longer. And I actually would like to preemptively take a very quick bio break before we come back from that.
Hell yeah. That was sweet. Thank you guys. Oh my god.
Don't fuck it up.
Bye.
See you guys in a bit.
love that the artist name for this song is Coda. Kota Yamamoto.
You can't go wrong with Attack on Titan music for something
Oh,
like this, you know?
correct. Oh, I'm also looking at the album art right now. Hold on. Oh yeah. The Warriors. This has to be from the final season, right? Yeah.
It is. It's from the attack on Liberia when Eren transforms in front of Reiner and Falco underneath the stage.
Yeah.
It's like one of the most incredible scenes of the show.
That's like that's in like in the downtown where the
Yes.
yeah.
Where not Tiberius, maybe Tiberius is
Big Hammer.
giving a speech. Tiber, Lord Tiber.
Was that
I
it?
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's Willie Tiber. Yeah. Tybur is giving a speech and play, kind of.
Oh man, maybe I need to rewatch that.
Dude, I can't right now just because I just emotionally processed that even a couple months ago. I have to like give it 6 months to like go back in. I do think that's probably my favorite show of all time.
We haven't even started talking about Seven Havens, baby.
Don't know what that is.
Avatar and the Seven Havens, the new series that has been officially announced.
I didn't know it was officially announced. That's insane. All right. We'll come back to that later.
Later.
He's like, what a real fan.
Oh my god, don't do that to me.
Was I unmuted that whole time? Oh.
Telperion, it is only now your turn. That was at the start of your turn, all that took place. So you steal your mind with the assistance of all your friends and memories. What do you do?
I do steal my mind, and then I move into attack. And I believe I left myself, and he hasn't moved, so I have just enough room to get to him.
Yes.
So with that, I definitely like don't have any side eye left, but like with just this little bit that's from all of these messages I've just gotten, I'm gonna sprint in there and swing to attack with Kiramar. I'm gonna do my just a regular swing for I'm choosing the Moon Flame Blade or the Booming Blade. I'm thinking I'll Booming Blade on the first strike.
Okay. Because of Roulette's positioning and Chimera form,
Am I still invisible?
carrying the creature from the top, and you're invisible. Yes, you have advantage for sure.
Okay. The attack roll, 20.
20 just hits.
Oh my gosh, that's so scary. Okay.
Even in this thing's sundered, cracked form.
All right, so 2d8, a d4, a d6, and the d12. Rolling it. All right. Ooh, sweet. Okay. So 16
D8 for booming. 2d8 for booming.
Yeah, so the 2d8. Oh, I rolled 2 8s. So that's 16 booming damage.
Okay. Not vulnerability this time, so that is reduced to 8 thunder damage so far.
And then the rest of it is 3 plus 7 plus 3 plus 6, 19 on the rest.
27 total damage, well above its threshold to resist. 27 damage sustained by the creature. And you are about to be buffeted and blown back. You feel your skin peeling away a little bit in the tempest of this chaos. There's no chance for you to get out of it. You've used too much movement closing the distance. You're gonna take damage at the end of your turn. But you're face to face with it right now. What are you doing?
One big swing in, and the thunder damage is like reverberating around the heart where I've been swinging at, and then I'm swinging in with a regular roll now. Wow, 30 or 28 to hit.
Definitely hits. Nice recharge, roulette.
Mm, 17 on this.
17 total
Force.
force damage. Okay.
I might be warming him up for you, Jerry. All right, last swing. That 19.
Okay.
Last 3 dice. Nothing more to squeak out here. That's 8 plus 18.
18 total. You see the lights of its eyes start to flicker out as energy starts fading. It can't produce enough energy to keep its form up. It is very nearly the end.
All right, that's about all I can do, really. My bonus action. I have a second wind that I don't think I'll use. Can I, Jiri? Are you gonna try to swing at it, or are you for blasting again? I think to you real quick.
I'll probably be able to do more damage blasting it.
Okay.
Less likely to hit it, but I'm pretty sure it's resistant to lightning damage, most likely, so.
All right. I will. So I don't. Yeah, I guess I won't. I'm just gonna move back if I can, a little. I don't think I can get out, but like, can I get there? Because I was here. I used 15, which was. Oh no, I used.
You had to use 30 to close the
get here.
distance.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So
My
at the
last-
end of your turn, unless there's other things you can do, you're about to take some radiant damage and be shoved out of the aura.
I guess I'll just real quick. Toby, are you good where you are? I pushed Toby 5 feet away from me, and then I end my turn.
Okay. At
Good
the
luck,
base of the
Jerry.
tower, we'll say that's roughly available. And then Telperion, you will take only 2 points of radiant damage, and you are shunted out of the aura of that tempest.
Concentration check.
Indeed.
Oh. Ooh. I dropped concentration.
What were you concentrating on?
Hunter's mark.
Hunter's Mark. Got it. Jiri. It is your turn.
Literally, yeah.
Jury aims for this thing's chest and face area. He's gonna blast it with all of his ranged abilities that he can muster. Toroidal blast from his fists and a blast from his crown.
Does my presence grant
Does
an
not
eight-
does
an eight
does not
reduction?
grant flanking to ranged attacks.
I'm just gonna have to trust the heart of the die on this one. Can't go with advantage. Hopefully. Alright, first one.
26 will be a hit. Go ahead and roll all of your 3 strikes.
God damn it. You got it, Jerry. You got it. Wow.
26 and a nat 20.
And then my ranged blast with the crown.
55 on the force so far.
Oh!
Wow, really smacking him around.
Go ahead and roll 8d12.
Feel it out.
I see 10s, baby.
5.
Oh, 55 and 55.
110? Holy shit.
Jesus.
That is correct. 3, 1, 2. It's all of you.
Oh, crap.
Jiri,
I mean, it's gonna be me. I know that.
paint us a word picture. As with your maximum spellcasting potency, you unleash a barrage of force and radiant projectiles that sunder this creature's form.
I like to imagine it's like Jerry's like, all right, Hyperival, this is it. We gotta put all our power into this final shot. Roulette's holding it for us. Aim for the heart. And so he kind of does like a kamehameha, like one giant wind blast with
Goku,
all
Father Hyperivel, next to
Yeah.
Gohan, appears, and you see him summon from the shadows his sword staff and thrusts it alongside your thrust, and just this kaleidoscope of force and radiation are jettisoned toward the creature, and you see its Divinor scales begin to flake away into dust that disappears into the environment, and then they pierce into its form. The ruby center of the chest cracks, shines, and detonates. And you all hear a voice,
Oh,
a
fuck.
female voice, say,
No.
"No, not again! Not again!" And I need all four of you to make an intelligence save as Toby Rama, the medallion, exalts for a splinter of a second and burns your hand with the concussive force of psychic energy that radiates from it.
Holy shit.
saves.
Intelligence save.
Yuri!
Makes sense.
The DC was 30.
Oh, fuck.
Bitch.
That's cute.
All of you that fail immediately take 29 psychic damage. And Toby Rama, your senses fade until the wisp of wild flame, conjured from your reaction if you choose, gives you a splinter. Your vision darkens, but a light at the end of blackness, this golden flame, turns into a canary that surrounds you and opens your eyes once more. And standing there, 20 feet tall, crumbling, falling into pieces, void of all of their magical essence at this point, the Divinor turned to mundane ash and dust, collapses to the ground, and a spray of ruby dust scatters all over the ground as well. And limply falling, a mangled body of Zavar, dead.
Oh.
I can't tell if it's Critter or if he's acting.
Clapping and arriving from the entrance you all originally came through.
Arky?
Gotta be Moira. Moira.
Oh no, she's hot.
Her staff on her back, she calmly walks forward and claps. You see all the Wyvern riders in the distance. They beat their wings. They ready their lances. They're not sure of the environment, but they are ready to charge. But they kind of stay their hand at the Talon's arrival. You see crowding Dread Iron squadrons filter in through the side entries that you didn't come up through those portions of the keep. Their crossbows and spears at the ready. You guys are still in a kill pit. Absolutely breathtaking. You all do love to break things. And I do so love to learn. Hold, fair Wraithwatch. With the king slain and the Arknight absconded, I do believe you are bound now to my command. Allow me to handle these vagrants. I believe you have more pressing matters about to require your attention. War horns begin to blaze throughout the city, You hear them and omnipresent, but from the city below, far below. And all the Wyvern Knights immediately begin to restlessly beat their wings and turn and reorient themselves. And then with a startled gait, all of them take a diving approach and leave the vicinity. One single Wyvern Knight lingers for a moment. Witch, what have you done? And he leaves too. Moira continues forward, walking toward all of you, and with a flick of her wrist, destroys and removes from life the feral weredrake thrashing about in her approach. The Forsaken Winds. I will do you the honor of not condescending to you. You are potent tools, if somewhat imprecise. If your efforts here had taken place even 2 weeks prior, I might have been furious about your handiwork amidst my lab below. If not for more recent developments that give me perspective. You know, should Zavar have emerged from your conflict victorious, I may have indulged him for a time longer, until his limited remaining value could be extracted. But in his demise here, I have learned so much. And I've decided to shift my curiosity from him to you. I dare say you all provide as much, if not more, promise than I originally saw in even this man. I wonder if we might find some opportunity to work together in the future. Now, a bit of business I must see to. She reaches out, grabs her staff, and gestures towards Zavar's body, and siphons from him a ghostly, ethereal red energy, which moves toward her and absorbed into a portion of infernal script through the staff and onto her arm. And as this text subsequently burns away from her skin, you hear a tormented scream of the fallen Zavar fill the air for a moment. A bargain fulfilled, though less than ideal in its execution. Now I will have ample time to extract from you the secrets our pact forbade me to pry. And now you, my little princeling. The fact that the glyph on your hand remains does show me that you are loyal to your word. I can appreciate that. However, with Zavar felled, the request I made of you no longer serves any meaningful purpose to me, as I had hoped the nature of your friend's bloodline would not threaten Zavar's rule by way of uprising, revolution, so be it. But you actually proved yourselves to be just as dangerous to his reign. You're now free to discuss the information you glimpsed in Zavar's mind with anyone of your choosing. You'll suffer no penalty, as you did not void your pact. But as I no longer benefit in any way from the agreement, it is no longer worth the expenditure of my power. And Moira does flick her hand, and the glyph on your hand dissipates. You feel a surge of lethargy for just a moment, but it quickly passes, and you know that boon of swiftness has been removed. Now, if you find yourself to be less competent in your martial prowess moving forward without the boon, take me up on my offer. I do hope we can find an opportunity to work together in the future. Offer me some value, and I'll return to you your boon. And you, oh, my lovely pet, looking in Jiri's direction. It would seem you've freed quite of my special guests below the keep. Your kind proves slippery, even when held within my grasp. Breathe easy. You've earned your freedom for now through no more than sufficient nuisance, I suppose, to my patience. I have what I need. And not just from you. Her eyes dart to Roulette. Anyway, my pet, I will no longer chase you for your blood, but someday perhaps I shall find a way to retrieve from your corpse all you have taken from me. You are quite fortunate this day that I have other priorities. Seek me out, all of you, any of you. I'm sure we can come to agreeable terms for mutual benefit. I will amuse myself elsewhere for a time. I wonder who else might be willing to accommodate me. She looks over to her shoulder, smiles, and disappears in a spray of crimson embers and ash. Moments later, approaching Dreadiron and Durastian forces move forward, but without command from their Talon or king, they move forward indecisively and then begin to look upward. As cresting above all the tower tops in the vicinity, gleaming, armored Pegasus Knights. As far as the eye can see, dozens, hundreds of shadows rising into the air. Wyverns harry them every once in a while, but the numbers are not favorable, and wyverns begin to drop. And then they choose not to engage. And you recognize that a presumably massive Beladonian force has arrived here. And then, darting toward your vicinity, the beautiful winged creature owned by Captain Brynja Tanith, High Commander, High Valkyr of the Dawn Guard of Beladonia. Elven woman. You've seen her once before in Ostennis, when a similar display of opportunistic appearance swept through and claimed the city after you all led the charge there. She shouts down, I commend you, Forsaken Winds, allies to Creatia. We will take it from here, though your presence will be honored and adhered to. It appears you have lost allies. She glances offward toward the slain Glassguard. You have my condolences. What would you have of us? Shall we escort you from the city, back south, or leave you to yourselves?
I think we're good. But we're glad to see you here.
Very well.
I suppose, how will this be a permanent occupation?
Sometimes the sword must precede the pen. We will figure that out in due time. Ladies, and many of the Pegasus Knights begin to descend and touch down amidst the courtyard and prevent Durastian soldiers from approaching into the environment anymore, and they begin to fully lock down the keep with their numbers. Durast, and Daenor specifically, has fallen today. Absolutely, unquestionably, at the hands of the Forsaken Winds in the clash here. Both the numbers and presence of Beladonia and holding the city at large, who knows what that could bode for bureaucracy. Unless you wish for them to escort you via mounted flight back home southward, what all do you want to do here?
I'm gonna go help up Toby.
I do it.
With its order commands being removed from the fray, it sort of just shuts down and just kind of stands static, and you kind of kick at it, and it doesn't even really regard your presence. It's kind of just an almost inanimate object at that point.
I go over to Toby and I clap his back and I want a second wind and give it to him. And as you get that, like the rush of the psionic kind of helping your body knit its most important elements together, you just get this like big wave of like Sorry, buddy. I did make a deal at your expense with her. You know now what I was hiding from you, but you could have learned it earlier.
Until roulette, a minute's duration does lapse, and your form sort of wilts and kind of like limply, like dead flesh, just kind of collapses to the ground, and emerging from the form, your natural body is able to step out.
Well,
We did
enlarged,
it,
but
roulette.
I'm assuming 10 minutes is going to go by at some point.
That's true. You guys are enlarged for a little while longer.
Oh, so I'm clapping Toby on the back. He's real tiny and I'm big.
Yes.
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 Oh my gosh. Toby, you're so tiny.
How are we all feeling? Do we need to pick me up for the next minute or so?
I think we're fine.
Yeah, short rest would be nice.
I'll do you one better. I will cast at 3rd level Aura of. Oh, which one is it? Aura of Vitality. Same thing as Healing Spirit, but it is going to be 20d6 total.
Whoa.
Over the next minute.
Have 6 HP.
You what?
So
6.
You have 6?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
that's terrifying. So I'd say whoever needs it,
I need
take
none.
it. So Toby and Jir, if you want to split 33 and 33 to at least get on your
Pretty
feet.
sweet.
If HP comes relevant, I'll roll your second win, Toby, but you have it in the meantime. I want to go. Oh, sorry. Do you want to say something, Toby? So
You imagine, due to some pact enacted with Moira, his soul is hers upon his death. So his mangled body lies limply on the ground. But you just got a glimpse, especially Toby, of where he was shepherded to after life.
Ooh, I do absorb 19 HP from him as he dies.
You do, in fact.
Hilarious.
well, I'm going to really full on his body. I go get the
Oh.
cryosphere and I
Yoink.
want to walk over to Jiri and look at it, but because I want to give Jiri congratulations. Jiri, that was a king dragon you just killed.
Yeah, but we did it together as a team, Telperion.
You made me very proud.
It's a big
soldier.
victory for the 4 wins. That story, I'll write it. Make sure that we all get an equal role in it, and it's going to be a tale that will be sung for generations to come. We should write it in Elven too, so your elf friends can sing it in the Mooncast Grove.
We will be telling this story for many nights. Are you
Alright,
picking up
let's check
the
out
spear,
this.
Jiri?
Yeah, let's check this sphere out, Telperion.
So,
Really? You want to look?
of note, when the spear was being wielded by Zavar, it looked like this. It's it's awakened stake. Its wings, the crossguard of platinum metallic make of its wings were enlarged and spread out more, and it was spewing this constant emanation of sublimation and frost from the prongs. It is no longer doing that. The wings have retracted slightly, and now there are nothing more than crystals of frost gathering along the prongs.
Ooh. I'll pick it up and
Has reduced to its
Oh,
dormant
sorry,
state, but Jiri, you are welcome to pick it up.
I'll pick it up and well, I'll let like Telperion like swing it around, I'll swing it around, but then when it gets back to Jiri, he's gonna cast Identify on it. He'll have Hypervol use the identification spell on it.
I want to be studying the metal of it as you're doing that. Like I'm looking at it. I'll even like telekinetically like levitate it for us, and then like I just want to be studying the metallicness because this is like our first time actually looking at Celestial, right, up close.
Not as it your only time. All of you or any of you can look up Cryosphere Dormant, and you're welcome to, whoever is going to put it in their inventory, you guys are welcome to add Cryosphere to your inventory, as well as Ring of Spell Storing.
I want to
if
go
that is
look at that
selected.
ring.
As long as that is still magically preserved, although the fingers it was on are heavily mangled and torn apart. But
I
that
go over to the
ring is
mangled
available as
fist
well.
and I rip off the hand, so I got his little skeleton hand with the ring on it. Count to spell this, Zavar.
Jesus.
And then I pull the ring off of it. What does it do?
You see a Pegasus Knight in the distance, so undignified.
All
The
elves
spell,
don't have to be stodgy.
the Ring of Spell Storing, you're welcome to look up. You guys have sufficient time to sort of cast identification magics and such, but specifically Jiri, using Hyperavel's magic in your feet to identify things. As you grip it, Hyperavel's Vantablack sludge form sort of exudes from your skin and creeps along as tendrils that cover the entirety of Cryosphere. And you see steam being heavily emitted, and you hear in your mind Hyperavel. He's struggling to meld this item. You do identify it, and you're welcome to look up all the properties of Cryosphere Dormant. And actually, because you did this, you can also go ahead and look up Cryosphere Awakened as well to understand the now fading capabilities of how Zavar used it. You're not sure how he awakened it, but you know he did. And as soon as he deattuned it, it relinquished its potency and connection to him. But not impossible that one of you could awaken it further. Hyperavel will give you the additional information that it will require all of his magic should you want to bond with this weapon. And you would have to not fuse it with your blade. You would have to choose some other means of further charging your sword and imbuing your sword with further potency down the line. But absorbing an artifact is not possible at this time. But you're welcome to bond it directly should you relinquish your current Shadow Storm. Right? I don't think it's Shadow Storm, Edge of Arc Flash now.
Pretty sweet spear, but I don't think I'm ready to eat it yet. But someday, we'll eat you. I promised the king that I would do that. I'm a man of my word. But I'll toss it. Ooh, I want to try tossing it though. To like toss it and then like have it come back to me.
Being a Hexblade, are you just proficient with martial weapons? Or are you only proficient with the conjured weapon?
That's a funny question.
Warrior.
I think so.
Proficiency in medium armor, shields, and martial weapons.
Okay, so you're welcome to wield it satisfactorily, and if you throw it, the innate capabilities of Celestial do not require the attunement process. So although attuning to it gives various benefits, being Celestial, it bypasses resistance to any version of piercing damage, as well as the distances of its thrown capability are enhanced. And should you attune to it, it also will do what it did for Zavar. It will return to your hand after each throw. But for now, as you hurl it, Jiri, it just soars so easily and true.
Sweet. What do you think we should do with this? We definitely got to keep it.
Can I see it?
For sure.
And I want to just take
I
it.
will will throw it like dangerously close to you. You know what I mean? Just like, here you go, Telverion. And like,
Hell
I'll like.
Yeah.
I said grab, but I telekinetically grab it and I hold it. I just want to like do some forms with it and just like feel it out, and it just feels like it's just really awesome. I'm really excited to like just hold it. Roulette, try.
Roulette is like very distracted with doing some cleanup, but I feel like she'll probably grab it and like she's got the heavy great sword in one hand and this incredibly light thing in the other. And she's like, you see the math going on in her head of like, what could the advantages of each of these be? And
Hold out my hand for the sword, the great sword. I say, give it a try. You don't often get
and
to wield a celestial weapon for the first time.
I will probably do some spins with the spear in hand and like present it back to you for the moment.
Why don't you hang on to it?
I certainly can. And I will baton, whirl it, attached to my back somehow.
Roulette, you're welcome to add Cryosphere Dormant to your inventory at your
Will
leisure.
officially add that to my inventory.
Telperion trying to grab the spell storing ring for now.
Holding up the ring, yo, I want to put this in my bag. We can check what it does, but it's interesting.
Some version of Identify in the future availing you of exact specifics. It is empty. There are no currently stored spells within there, Zavar having used them all. But you are welcome to add that to whoever's inventory has it.
Yeah, I checked out what it does. So what anyone can do is put spells in it. Like, if I tuned it, you could put a Synaptic Static in it, Jerry, and I could use it using your DC. Or Haste from Roulette, or my own Shield or Silvery Barbs. Because it can hold 5 levels of spell slots. So like 1 5th level, or like a 3rd and 2 1s, or a 3rd and a 2. So like, I think it's really cool.
Functionally, because you're getting this now, when we formally rebuild for Act 2, it will be whatever the literal language of the 2024 version is, which could have interesting implications on action economy. Can you use a bonus action spell, or does it require a magic action to release a spell? Those caveats could be tricky, so I don't want to assume anything in 2014 version, but functionally you have that in your inventory.
What I'm curious about is if Jiri casts Find Greater Steed in it and I used it to cast Find Greater Steed, could I find a Greater Steed using that spell that you can cast, Jiri? Because that would be a sick. Yeah, I could get it. I could use an Aquilari with wings. Like I could copy some of y'all. I could be rogue. I could copy some of y'all's little spells. I mean, anyone who wants to use it could. So it's up there. Yeah. I think the versatility of it would be really sweet. I guess I do want to just like Telperion it and search, like, obviously those are the two big things, but like looking at his corpse, I'm like, what do I harvest here? His soul's gone, but is there anything?
Yeah, go ahead and make a investigation check.
Critter,
24. No, wait, never mind, it's more. 20 investigation, 24.
Okay. Steve, what was your question?
The infernal sphere in front of me is essentially just like fully powered down now.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. At some point, I will.
One charge of infernal glow still emanating from it.
At some point, I will request the not bag of holding, the pit.
You can have it. I'll just give you guys the pit.
I will be tasking Daisy with pushing around the infernal sphere for the moment.
Okay.
With the infernal spheres, we gave the book away with the nether space. Never mind.
Toby, you are welcome to continue your ritualistic, gentle reposing of those fallen allies, and you're handed the portable hole for your use, and you're welcome to over 50 minutes of careful time, carefully and respectfully get those individuals in for transport. Telperion with a 24, with 24 or 28 investigation check. There is ruby dust around Zavar's crater in his chest. The Divinor spike that was once there exploded and detonated during his transformation. And you do see there's a smattering of ruby dust all over the vicinity that just catches the light. There is no Divinor dust, Divinor essence, physical or otherwise. You do see magically preserved somewhat Zavar's dread iron mantle that he wasn't even attuned to, but was wearing over his Helisteel. as well as you identify 3 pieces of faded, but not fully inert, Helisteel scrap.
I'm gonna scoop all that and throw it in the bag.
Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check for the gathering of any ruby dust in the vicinity, as gathering dust
Ooh,
is quite
Can I have a little vial, and can I Kair dust, like little ruby dust in? Because I think, or is that not possible?
you can telekinetically use your abilities,
Yeah.
but just like picking up a handful of sand from gravel, telekinetics aren't necessarily availing much for total sleight of hand.
Yes.
You're able to get the barest minimum of ruby dust into a vial, but it's just impossible to pick up. It muddies with the ground, it mixes with just moisture in the environment. It's just not gatherable, but you gather what you can, and it's an extremely limited amount.
Okay. Do I get the scrap?
Yes, Helisteel scrap does not require a check. That is just, it's fractured Helisteel that was destroyed on the emergence of that creature, but is still the process of a legendary caliber enchantment transmutation process.
Hell yeah. Scooped. Satisfied.
Shaggy, Jiri, Telperion, and Roulette. Your enlarged forms do fade. Roulette, you're welcome to shock Daisy back into wakefulness at the expenditure of a spell.
Oh.
Unless you have to gather her scrap and recreate her over a long rest. But
I am gonna say Daisy's still down at the moment.
okay.
But she is defaulted to like object mode. She's on my hip, but she is at 0 HP because I do not want to spend that spell slot yet.
Okay, fair enough. The after image of her that has now disappeared.
Is this dragon thing? Am I able to pry off its armor in any way?
Absolutely.
The wyvern, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead and yes, it will take time, but no check required. You're able to undo the Dread Iron Barding from Juhir.
I'd like to take that, and I'd also like to chop its head off and take that.
While you're destroying it, I'm gonna go after its tail and try to get its poison.
Okay, Telperion, go ahead and make a nature check. Jiri, you're able to lop off the head of this mammoth creature. You'll have to figure out a way to, transport that with you. It's very large, not quite as large as the Vulture Rock's head, but meaningfully difficult without a portable hole available.
I will toss it in the center of Shaggy and be like, Shaggy, hold on to this. We're gonna need it for our trophy room. And then I'll also put the armor because maybe I'd like to armor Shaggy someday.
That will require, certainly you could use this Dread Iron Barding. You would have to invest some significant gold toward that effort just for customization to his form. But someday Barding for Shaggy is certainly feasible.
Well, I'm gonna at least have this on deck just in case I go down that route someday, and then oh yeah, guys, don't forget we need to go back for that Umber Hulk's head at some point. I'm not leaving that behind. In Cliffshade, yeah. We drew like a treasure map. I think we drew a treasure map to it. I think Roulette has it.
Telperion, as you're carefully using Sai Saber Kuramar to sort of open almost like a sausage, like just kind of along the top, all the way down the tail, cutting through its scales and peeling back, you are able to carefully extract be very long. It's almost like a ligament in the body where when it's not like attenuated to things, it's like really fucking long. Where you are able to extract its venom gland and identify its capability. It has the coloration and sort of neon glow of weird fire, but you have extracted it. You will need to be utilized carefully to create potentially a potion / poison someday. But that is a poison that will not only deal poison damage, but also affects fire vulnerability on a creature that fails a save. Juhir's poison would have, if it took root in your form, would have made you vulnerable to fire damage.
Wait. Fabulous. I saved the gland.
Critter, big question, little context. Can you send me the character sheet for Infernal Spheres?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Oh, except yes, I will do that in the interim. Yes.
Okay.
I think it also might be in
So
the chat
I don't
somewhere.
really think I want
That's
to
what
go
I
back.
thought.
I'll say to the group once we're kind of done with these tasks, I don't really fancy going back and studying any of the shit anymore. Kind of want to get out of here, but do you want to go loot anymore or leave?
Yeah. Do you want to run through the keep to avail yourself of a window to look down upon the city? Actually, you know that exists in the throne room, for example. It has a very good view of the entire city. So you run through to the throne room, and yes, wide sweeping surrender. You see mostly nothing. You see a smattering of the burgundied, red, black, and silver color scheme of Durastian armors, but the landscape is almost blotted out with snow, but it's moving snow, it's feathers, it's Pegasus Knights. There's hundreds of forces here, and you see little bits of golds and tawny browns, and you recognize that there are Griffin Knights among the forces as well. Which even upon an army's arrival, Daenor would have engaged in full-out battle against an impending army. So this seems like a very overwhelmingly coordinated effort.
I mean, I think we found the most important things we could find here. Jerry, Roulette, you want to leave? Or stare at the corpse of our enemies for longer?
Oh, I'm good to go. I think. I mean, there's nothing left here. I wouldn't mind getting out of here.
I do want to and I want to actually go grab 6 of the spikes off of, or however many glass guard there were. I want to take that many spikes off of Zuhir.
Okay.
And I want to give them to Toby and say this will be something we can give. A few of the glass guard can say they fought against monstrosities like these. Oh, we're all small now.
Surrounded by silver mist. and immediately pulled through space and time. You all merely blink, and you're standing on soft, grassy ground of a graveyard. You are in Ostennis, capital of Creatia, victorious in your efforts in Durast.
Damn.
What?
Should we go? I think we could just go to a. Oh yeah. Palace is destroyed.
Indulging a moment of suspicion, you seek out Gallus's house, and you are able to find Magnus, who quickly and hurriedly, with an outburst of emotion and startle you haven't seen from that character, rushes to alert individuals and couriers and scouts to fetch the queen, fetch the dusk, gather an audience. The next series of hours go by in a blur.
Can we get a
As
short rest?
Ostennis begins to erupt and flock toward you all's position. Alaya, Queen of Creatia, comes your way, greets you, and hugs each of you. There is celebration throughout the rest of the day, without question. Although some of you may have interests immediately, conversations with individuals you might be interested in. And as we start to wind down Act 1, I want to know what each of you wants to do with your remaining day, your remaining week, or onward. We can have RP conversations as you want to, or you can just describe things you start to do in the coming days. But that will primarily conclude the zoomed in perspective unless there's meaningful RP conversations that need to take place. Kind of want to go character by character, as several of you have given me some bits and pieces of things you're interested in. And they may have limited mechanical result today, but they'll of course be considered for how we resume Act 2 someday. Does anyone want to volunteer and start kind of tiptoeing their way into what they want to do first? This doesn't have to be long-term downtime goals. We're trying to handle immediate aftermath stuff. They will appreciatively and eagerly start putting plans together for how best to honor the fallen Glass Guard. Alaya gives a nod to Magnus, who begins a conversation with you. We did receive a strange arrival earlier this day, as Magister Damien Hart brought a unique entourage to our city. They are being welcomed in a location carefully held. The ex-Talon has availed us of some interesting information. Lord Paragon, might we utilize that information toward our benefit and yours? They will continue the conversation with you along that topic. But at the end of the conversation, Magnus goes off to attend various stewards and countrymen and nobles and diplomats. And Elia lingers back with you for a moment and says, I was eager to rule because I felt so passionately for these people. But sometimes it is those who have no eagerness to rule that may become the best rulers. And she leaves you on that thought. Anyone else want to jump in with some immediate aftermath thoughts that day, next days?
I can jump in. There's a moment immediately after Moira leaves where Roulette is going over and she is immediately going to Daisy. But on the map, it's a deactivated, just nearly destroyed Daisy next to a deactivated infernal sphere. And as she's kind of sitting there, like intellectually pondering it, that's when she hears this captain on this Griffin Knight. The only thing that probably pierces through her intellect cloud is "We'll take it from here," and that is very likely the final trigger in her brain that makes her very, very, very skeptical of working with any government, regardless of nation, regardless of purpose, regardless of anything. She brings that infernal sphere home with her for sure. She will put a lock and key on it to make sure it's not activated, but she is definitely working on it. In the next few days or weeks, one of the things that she will be focusing on is not attending meetings with Elia and the Dawn, Noon, Dusk, but will be fraternizing and making closer friends with the Oricaba contingent in Ostennis. Doing an official introduction is definitely something you will... Roulette's going to be not sneaking out, but she will say she's off on arcane duties. It's definitely something she will be pursuing.
So although this doesn't certainly remove the opportunity for playing both sides of the field someday, this is a unique choice for Roulette to start leaning in one direction more so than the other.
Correct. Yes. She I think it'll come out in conversations because Roulette has said this from the beginning. She's like, I don't really fucking trust Bellidonia, because that, like, my dad's hated them, like my family, like the people in the town that I stayed in, like they hated them because they were all hoity-toity, high elves, like we didn't like them. Um, and seeing what happened to Alfie, and her fear that it could happen with Daisy or with any one of her other like inventions, um, her brain, and I think Critter, I forget what I wrote to you. Trusting honor among thieves more than the potential whims of a monarch, is where her brain has ended up. That's the short to midterm. Immediate term thing that she would request help from Toby at some point, likely in the next day or two, to do a scry check-in on mom and or dad. We had already done a scry check-in on dad and sent at least one message, and I would say this to Toby with the pure intention of, is he alive? Is he living? Is really like my two things. I want to make sure he's not on the cusp of death, or about to be like tortured forever. Because last time he seemed haggard, but stable.
Toby, is that something you're interested in doing in the next day or two at Roulette's request? Sending and scrying?
We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. I got a feeling whatever he's mixed up in, he's well aware and has been well aware of the danger. And whoever he's with, getting him away from them might be of commensurate difficulty, if not higher, than what we just did to get into Moore's lab. So I don't think this is a small feat, which is good and bad. Bad because we can't just go pick him up from somewhere, but good because I think I've realized that my father might be a bit more important than just the random old kook down the street, and I don't think. Well, let me not jinx it. Would you mind checking in on him?
Okay. Do a little scry music real quick. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. As you have returned and in the aftermath of the Divinor Weredrake's defeat, the medallion has quelled and calmed again. It is once again dormant. And with a quick scry effort on someone you've successfully scryed on in the past, Ernest Tinkerton does not succeed his save, and you're able to pierce through the veil and witness the same meager stone, cobblestone room. And he is writing frantically. He'll write a page and then throw it over his shoulder, and write another page and throw it over his shoulder. This is unbelievable. I've done it. I think. Except, no, I think I can show it. And he's just postulating, theorizing excitedly. He seems engaged and happy and eager. You are welcome to make not a perception, not investigation, just a general intelligence check with disadvantage. You're welcome to make an Arcana check at disadvantage instead. Fairly indecipherable. It's in common, so it's like it's common letters, but sometimes there's equations and math going on in arcane sigils. It's above your ability to quickly grasp, especially with the speed with which he's writing.
Like a big repeating triangle.
Nothing of note. It is fairly indecipherable wingdings / common words that don't leap out at you of interest.
Upon you describing that, like Roulette definitely lets out a sigh of relief. She knows her dad. She knows like how he gets in like frantic states, and she knows that he's in no safer place than when he's like discovering something. He's very similar to her. Yeah. Um, that's a great, wonderful question and something I'm struggling with a bit myself. But no, I think he's smart enough to know that if he's reaching the end of his mental mental tether, he knows how to draw something like that out. He's made himself useful over the years. And then subsequently, if I'm gonna still be using Toby really quick, send a message to dad. Send a message to dad saying, Letty's safe. She's with friends. She loves you. Don't respond. As the final two words on there. And then, yeah, that's it.
Do you send that message during your scry or later?
I think
Over
no,
the
I
course
think
of that scrying 10 minutes or just at some point that day?
I think Roulette would wait until right after the scry is done. Like I think we did that last time, and he got flustered, and like we saw him flustered. So just send that message right after.
Okay, done. You do not get a response as requested.
And
You
that's
check in on briefly. We don't need to necessarily do the same level of
for mom.
smoke and mirrors, but mom, you see Roulette's childhood home, and Mama is working. You hear something taking place down in the basement, somewhere where she hasn't always necessarily gone, but she's gathering things, organizing, storing, cleaning. It does seem fairly packing-esque, but you're not sure if that's this space or intent to leave or etc. But yes, things are being packed up and organized.
Knowing that her two parents are, for the moment at least, safe, and knowing that she cannot do anything immediate short term to get to them or rescue them or anything like that, Roulette will definitely switch to a more local mindset, both for extending or advancing her relationship with the Orcaba and for doing her Four Winds duty and helping to clean up Ostennis, flexing her new Fabricate spell.
Cool. Maybe we can get more into that when we resume with Act 2 to see maybe what's come of that in interesting ways. Cool. Anyone else want to jump in with their thoughts?
Jerry, you want to go?
Sure. Jerry wants to very quickly meet with the Noras and Kellen Kickass, and specifically he wants to discuss the new individuals that we picked up in the prison. So he'll go to Kellen and they'll be like, "Hey, Kellen, I think potentially we found my brother when we were in the dungeons at
Wait, you have a
in
brother?
Namor." Oh yeah, maybe.
Is he a
Very highly
Genasi
likely.
too?
Kind of. But not my other brother, Judge Carr. That's my half brother. This is my like actual brother.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that about that guy.
I know. So this is the good brother, not the evil brother. But anyways, he's with this rough crew, and I think the Noras are perfect for them. But we gotta do this secretively, right? I want you guys to try to like get them, be friendly with them. You know what I mean? See if potentially we could get him and his gang to join the Noras. I think they'd be potential allies, but they're kind of not the best individuals. So we're gonna have to, you know, lure them in, so to speak, with some fun times.
Wait,
Maybe some stories
where'd you recover them from?
from the dungeons of Daenor.
Well, if they were trapped and imprisoned by our enemies, they must be our friends, I assume. Sounds good. Sounds like some recruitment in need.
Yes, that's my point. Is yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe they'll be. I don't know, but you definitely got to keep an eye on them because the Red Plumes are like his group, his organization that he's part of. Criminals. I used to be part of it, actually, believe it or not. But that's when I was Jax a long time ago.
Uh-huh. Recruitment's in need.
Yes. Long story short.
Some of that going over his head, but trying to keep up.
Long story short. Yeah, we gotta be buddies with them. So I'm gonna need you to help out with that. Especially because I don't actually know where they are right now. It sounded like they are also in prison here, which is not great. Or they're in a secret location. But we'll break them out eventually. And then, yeah, I want you to keep an eye on them and try to recruit them.
Okay. I'll see what I can do. Yeah, see if we can free up some space at the barracks, and then maybe I'll touch base with Magnus and see if we can free up some resources and rooms and stuff. Maybe he can put me in touch with where they are, make an introduction. I'm on it.
Awesome. I knew you were the man for the job. Thanks, Kellen.
Never forget. Very
High five.
cool. Those guys will begin to be recruited into the Nora mercenaries. What else are you?
Yes, ideally.
Cool. Jiri, I must thank
What's up?
you. You have been more of a friend to me than I could have ever anticipated. It is
Well,
strange.
I try to get along with everybody.
Yes. That is easier said than done sometimes. After what we glimpsed in the scribe's lore form, I feel it merely solidified my understanding of where I came from, who I am, who I was, who I am no longer. I will be reflecting on who I want to be, with you at your side. Who do you want to be?
That's a good question. I feel like for most of the time I've been with the Four Winds, I wanted to be Jerry, Jarl of Jawland. But like, you know what I mean? Like that actual individual. But now that I think of it, I can't really be him, but I can still be that like hero that he kind of represents. I think that would be a good goal to strive for. To be Jajiri, Jarl of Jawland. More in a metaphorical way than a literal way.
There is nobility in that. Modeling your life after someone you admire, especially if it instills passion. I will do what I can to support that.
You know what, High Maribel, we also got to think about what you want too, right? Like, we definitely got to figure out more about you, where you come from, and all of that. I'm here to help you with that as well. Maybe both of those missions can align together. We can search for these answers together as a team. Because you're like kind of part of the Four Winds, to be honest, you know?
I couldn't agree more. We have accomplished far more together than I would have assumed. I consider you a friend, Jiri, and I would gladly fight at your side until you somehow find a way to get rid of me, if you could.
Well, it's handy having you around, so not quite yet. Not until I'm fully powered up. But I've got a question for you. Like, where should we start first? Right, now that we've killed the king and we freed Durast, like, what do we do next? Do we go after the queen? I don't know, or not the queen. What's her face? Moira. We go after her. She seems like she might know more about you and your condition. Plus, she seems pretty evil.
I do feel that inevitably Moira will cross our paths again. And though I would seize an opportunity to rebuke her inactions of our circumstance and remove her from her ways, right now I feel we should reflect, enjoy the victory, commune with these people, show them a new dawn. For we are both harbingers of dawn, are we not?
True. I almost forgot about my new title. I will have to ask the queen about what to do next as the Dawn. Maybe she'll have some good advice.
Where you lead, I will follow.
You know what I was thinking? I'm also kind of like a bow. You know what I mean? You just point me in the right direction and I go. So we need to find a new direction to fly.
Maybe some meditation and dreaming can avail us of direction.
I like that. Like a big dream where everybody can go and come join us, because we do need to look in and find what's his face? Jean Lavore. How could I forget? Very important. I feel like I lost access to that dream cell though when I was looking into the scribe, so we might have to find some other type of magic to be able to enter our dream realm once again.
I'm optimistic that together we can achieve anything. Keep your mind to it.
Will do.
Very cool.
Yo. So in Topirian's aftermath, in Ostennis, he doesn't have that much business really, so he is gonna like check on like kind of what he had. I guess I'll check in with Elia, kind of like we had some words before I left saying if we brought you a dead king, that we would be meeting again in a way.
I intend to make good on every promise I have made you. And she goes into plans that have already been concocted over even the last 24 hours of the floor plan, the area of the city where the Athenian Ithilwinge embassy will be located, as well as satellite scholar houses throughout Creatia, not just Ostennis. They're going to meaningfully integrate your people of safe havens with which to live and have a home base here in these lands. The embassy specifically itself will not occupy the whole perimeter. but it will be located at the center of the city where Prison Palace's destruction was. They're going to they have plans to completely remake that space of the city, one piece of which will include the embassy.
Sweet. Fabulous. Then he'll just want to like be making sure those plans are coming along. And then I think as soon as is like rational, I want to go back to Athenian. And also like check in with the Loon Songs and how they're doing. And kind of like I just want to bring the prince home for a little bit. So like for a little while, I think he'll be wanting to like check in and like definitely like start reinvesting a little bit of time and energy. Like how are the side Crescent Knights doing? How are the Loon Songs as a family and faction doing? Check in with Kinsalo and like kind of find out what's the kind of trajectory for the Bird Corps and the UKA in a sense now. So a little bit of like, now that this has happened, what's the political ramification and impact? And kind of like seeing what that trajectory is before he like divests and off, like checks out and starts looking in on some of his own projects.
For sure. You check in with your father, warmly welcomes you. He will kind of be at your side often throughout the coming days and weeks. There's this sense that you almost get with insight, almost a hint of guilt that allowing you to go off and trailblaze the path you have over the course of this campaign so far has really put yourself in jeopardy. And although he's lost a limb in the process, and many Selethar have been slain and fallen in the ongoings of a war, he's particularly tender and almost coddling you a little bit, knowing how fickle your life could have been taken. So he gets a lot of FaceTime with you, as certainly does your sister. And your sister is eager to engage with you, often avail you of the latest archives, scribes, accounts of Crescent Knight training, their regiment resources, etc. There's continued progression, although nothing necessarily groundbreaking since the last meaningful boost from all their capabilities. Your mother remains, as always, warm when you're with her, but you're almost seldom with her. She has so many responsibilities to tend to that she's less present than your father and sister, but eager to have dinners together and engage you whenever possible. Minerva also, oh, I forgot, and she reminds you that I got your message to reach out to the Beast King. I messaged him and warned him. I didn't hear a response.
Oh, fuck.
I will try him again on the morrow, and if you would like, I can reserve capabilities to check in often. But it does make me a little bit nervous in the wake of the news you gave me.
Yeah. Me
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, it sucks.
All right. I have sounds good. I kind of want to message him myself, but I don't want to because I want to save my message that I want to do now for another purpose. So I guess I do want to in Kinsalo, is he's back with in Kirsan?
Yeah, his people will
Lillian.
over the next, I would say not days, but weeks, go back southward from Ostennis. Kinsalo would have even been in the celebration and greeting you all at Ostennis, himself still there. But yes, the Auracor will slowly make their way southward, returning home, greeting family, but there's a sense that they'll be back in Ostennis. They're eager to maintain the connection the Beast Folk have facilitated in Northern Lands, and almost a desperation to not let that go, as they've received so infrequent hospitality from the Northern nations in recent past.
Nice.
So connection still, but they don't have anything as formal of resources as an embassy that the Ethel Wingate are getting. But talks for the UKA's, the United Kin Army's allies, is certainly a heavily debated topic. Is the army disbanded? Pretty much yes, unless it needs to coalesce again in defense of or for a distinct purpose. But there are emissaries that linger in Creatia, certainly, but primarily there is almost a mass exodus back home, although frequent communication still takes place between peoples.
Gotcha. Kind of like the last thing I'd want to do then is like have the zoom out of this time be like once kind of everything is secure and like kind of making plans with Minerva to spend a lot of time together and like really like put some brain work into like I want to do a really careful job of recording a lot and sharing and like putting down and sharing with her and puzzling out a lot of like this was the arcane mess that I saw from this witch and these are the implications and like I want to like record the puzzle pieces so they stay kind of locked somewhere. But then I want to retreat to my room and like I would sit in like a meditative stance and like ignite Kiramar for the spell focusness, like for the psi focus of it all. But then I'd want to close my eyes and telepathically send to Aleolas in the Feywild, reaching out to him, and saying,
Yeah, as you trigger through long distance, more than long distance, cross-planar telepathy, go ahead and roll a D100.
well,
As there is a limited chance cross-planar magics aren't able to carry through.
72, or, oh, wait, hang on.
7 or 2.
I did 2 D10s, and I was like, oh, I'll be able to, but I forgot the percentile.
70-20.
Oh, is it? Yeah. 33.
You kind of could. Okay. What do you reach out with? What message do you send through the veil, through the weave that connects all the planes to Aeolas, the Eladrin you all met in the Feywild at Caer Methrandine?
Aleolas, Telperion here. In need of some conversations and training involving trances in the lives one could trace back through them. Could we arrange?
Almost from an audience perspective, you get a response, and a glimpse of a smile probably comes across Telperion's face. A communication successful, but we'll tackle the implications of that relationship later. You've engaged Aeolas in once he had offered training and recalling past lives' memories from trances. We'll see if you can be successful. With that, yeah, absolutely. So what loose ends do you guys want to cover? Do you guys want to just chat together as a crew and have a dinner together? What are you guys interested in? Post that, I will have a little epilogue blurb.
I have one.
Oh my god, yeah. We'd have a party. Telperion wants to heal his dad, who he feels sad for. He would arrange a banquet without telling his dad what it was about.
Oh my god.
Yeah, fuck this. He would, but if you're sure it's gonna work, Toby. It's a spell ripped off arm. I don't have to tell him why, but maybe we could surprise him. So I will arrange for like a party in Athenian, kind of like we've had before. It could be just like kind of small, but it would be on like some terraces where like there would be a lot of views of like the gardens and the starlight.
Toby, would you like to attempt that endeavor?
Can't wait till Mathras gets
As
a
you-
tail.
as your magic takes hold on him, you see his breath almost catch and he breathes easier. He sits up straighter. His eyes dilate a little bit as the healing magics trigger. But no limb grows back. And he kind of looks downtrodden. I had hoped her words were not true. When Vitria removed from me my arm, she mentioned that the Painmaker's spite is quite lasting. I imagine the magics that are veiled to you may not affect me until Leviatar herself is dealt with in some more profound way. I do heartfully, deeply appreciate your magical assistance, Tobirama. I'm proud to have a son that has such good taste in friends. Absolutely. Let's cover some other bullet points first. What's your other bullet point that's going to happen? I agree. Roulette, you had an extra point before we tackle some stuff.
Yes, and we don't need to fully RP this out, but I will at some point grab Toby, and I'll start with, I don't need you to scry on anyone today. Don't worry about it. I'm just looking for some, maybe spiritual help. I'm not quite sure, but I want to try something. And above table, I will ask for guidance at some point. But this is meant to be much more of a, I will bring you back to a room or wherever we are, shop wherever we are. And on the work table will be the infernal sphere. And it's like locked up, chained down, completely deactivated. I have like stripped as much of like the Durastian ish shit off of it. I've like tried to clean it up so it doesn't look like an infernal sphere anymore. But I will mostly ask Toby about, I'll ask him a silly question of like, you think these things have souls? Which I don't know what the answer to that one is. And I don't know if we want to go into that because we don't need to dive into that too deeply.
That's a fun fade to black question for that interaction almost.
Yeah, it'll I will she will tremendously appreciate that, and she will like gesture to Daisy and to Infernal Sphere and talk about like good versus evil and like thinking I could change the will of these things. And because I don't want to forget about this, because I have a fear that I will when we come back to Act 2, while on the Ring of the Grammarian, I am going to cast Dispel Magic on the Infernal Sphere, changing the D to an M, making it Misspell Magic, specifically knowing that it is a misspelled word. And my goal is to, and this is the closest after like weeks of trying to figure this out, the closest I could come to is I want to change the essence of the word infernal on this thing to fraternal on this thing.
Oh, brother.
Okay. If this was an anime show, you and Toby are talking, does these things have souls? I have ideas. And you spin your ring, you cast Misspell Magic, and we almost see zooming out just an arcane workshop and the windows start glowing.
Yeah, I don't even want to, we don't even need to do the result now. I just want to know that's something that I have that's been on my mind for a while. But
Very,
yes,
very
that's
interesting.
what I will try to do with the Shard of Alfie is what I will also call it.
Before we return to the sending interest MK had, Jiri and Telperion, any final thoughts you guys want to discuss, cover before we start fading out?
I would want to. Well, I want to go to Jiri actually, but Jiri, do you have something that you want to do that's not related?
Oh, go ahead. You go first.
I'll go to Jiri. Essentially because I want to like while at dinner, essentially bring Jiri over and bring Minerva together. And maybe Crit, you can tell me. Do you want this to be before or after whatever the Eolas message was?
Let's say before. Let's say that communication is one of the last fade to
Yeah.
black moments for Telperion in Act 1.
So the two of you, I want you to know, with everything that's gone on with the different fighting, the advancement of my powers and Jerry yours, Minerva, I'd love to study with you for some time on the arcane, the martial. I think we could make some advances together. I specifically wonder if I couldn't make something that would allow my wizardry to be more impactful. And Jiri, I don't know. I'm going to be sending a message soon, and I don't know if the two of you are interested in any field trips, but I would love to get back to the Feywild, actually.
Sweet. Trip to the
So
field.
that's what I'd leave there.
Love to go to the field. Sounds good to me.
I just accept it. Yeah. I dream of bringing him to the Feywild without him knowing where we're going, thinking we're going to a field.
Cool. What was your other item, Jiri?
No, we'll end it there. Jerry being dumb is a good way to end
Okay.
Act 1.
Toby Rama, over the course of the next day or so, you send a couple messages. Check in with Korik, check in with Dinah, check in with Mordecai. You don't get a response from, well, who do you message first? Just a general check-in message, or are you interested in communicating the specific words? There is no response. Korik does not respond. Dinah. Toby Rama. Congratulations on your efforts. But dark days linger. The king is gone. Disappeared. And Korik has passed. Be well, if you can.
I mean, she's the only person there in charge right now.
I'm really glad Ask Korik for a Tree Stride wasn't on my list.
He was a very, very unnaturally, but
Oh, he was super
naturally
over.
elderly
Yeah.
Aarakocra, enhanced with druid magic.
So when
It
that
was-
sword went through his heart, he probably died real fast.
Okay. Well, as the Forsaken Winds gather, recover, we can get into downtime antics over time. But at a bare minimum, all of you get a point of heroic inspiration for a job well done and an Act 1 completed. So you will all have a point of heroic inspiration when we start back up. Otherwise, elsewhere, in a far off and dark corner of the world, a sudden spray of ash and cinder scatters upon the stone floor of some subterranean chamber. A steward nearby jumps up from a desk and rushes over to a door to throw it open. Is he in? Yes, Melige. Arrived mere moments before you. Good. The elf, robed in white and gold with eagled epaulets, continues inward to greet the other individual inside, similarly adorned, though with one exception. A striking piece of jewelry, displaying 9 large amber orange beads that glow with a dark red energy within. I do not appreciate being made to wait. You were successful. Unsurprisingly, of course. Do allow my latest findings to make an apology on my behalf, for we have everything we need, including the gift from the Gith. And the architect himself will lead the effort. The door to the room opens again as the steward ushers in a haggard-looking peasant in prisoner's clothes and a scraggly auburn brown hair and beard. I hear we're on for one final project then. When do we start? And that will conclude Act 1 of Eridon.
Whoop.
Dad!
Wait, who was wearing the necklace? The walker in or the person
No.
that was in the room?
The person
I
in the
don't-
room.
I don't know, and neither do you guys.
The person that was already in the room was wearing the jewelry, the Dragon Balls.
Oh. Yeah. Woof.
Nice work. Nice
Act
work.
1.
Act 1. Zavar and Divinor Weredrake slain.
Wait, we forgot something. Can we asterisk? Can we have checked? Never mind, it's too late.
One of you or all 4 of you at a banquet table pull it out and just look to each other. You haven't investigated it yet.
Damn.
Identify.
We stabbed Toby with it.
What?
You have to attune to it, to the tattoo.
Can I identify it?
It doesn't
You can
matter, I'll tell
identify
you.
it, and it is a Divinor needle of scry tattoo, and it is fixed. It is affixed to a specific target, and is not consumable. So it's not like upon using the magic it disappears. It can be used once a day.
So Mordecai could be dead.
Does
Can I
one of
tell-
you just on the next day use the needle?
one of us will. Who's willing? I mean, I would if no one else. Whoever. I do it. But yeah, fuck it.
Kelpiran, you deattune to something. You place the needle to your skin, and over the course of the hour, it slowly emanates ink that seeps into your form, and it's a very distinct pattern, and it looks very draconic in nature, and it's distinctly like ruby colored, the tattoo that is around your arm. And when you conjure its magic, its form disappears from your arm for that day, and you are pulled through a vision. And I'll make a roll. First, you hear the calm breeze and chirping of birds in a distance, but you're zoomed into what looks like the front porch of a wooden building in what feels like, with just minor peripheral information, some sort of coastal environment. And the individual it's scrying on is rocking on a chair on that porch. It is a very elderly, heavily white-haired, long hair and long white beard, yellow-skinned Gith man. Extremely elderly. All you see over the duration of that 10 minutes is just him rocking on a chair. That's it.
I'm thinking that too. I might have to scry or message him. Some creepy yellow old withered dude with a beard in an old cottage by the ocean, maybe. Oh, I'd silent image what he looks like for everyone to see.
Does he look familiar?
He does not look familiar.
Do any of us recognize what a GIF? We recognize what a GIF is, right? None of us have ever seen one, though.
You're familiar. Toby Rama has seen one. Unmistakably Gith. Gith Zera, Gith Yankee. You might not know to differentiate or know what identifiers might lead you one way or the other. But right now, it's within the umbrella of Gith.
Holy. Sweet.
But that is Act 1. Thank you
What an
guys
act.
for 127 episodes, sessions of this stuff.